Good afternoon, children. Welcome to today's history class. We are discussing about Delhi Sultanates. Today, we can discuss about administration and consolidation under the Khaljis and Tughlaqs. Okay, administration and consolidation under the Khaljis and Tughlaqs. Now you have to open page number 37 from your history and listen. The consolidation of a kingdom as vast as the Delhi Sultanate needed reliable governors and administrators. Rather than appointing aristocrats and landed chieftains as governors, the early Delhi Sultans, especially Iltutmish, favored the special slaves purchased for military service called Bandagan in Persian. They were, they were carefully trained to man some of the most important political offices in the kingdom. Since they were totally dependent upon their master, the Sultan could trust and rely upon them. Okay. The consolidation of a kingdom as vast as the Delhi Sultanate. So this was an important work of the Delhi Sultans. Immediately they have to do the consolidation and control all over the part of the Delhi Sultanates. Okay. So that is an important duty of the Delhi Sultans. So what they did, actually these governors and administration, they were coming from the aristocrat family, noble family, and that is they are getting by birth. If they are born to the noble families, from that noble families, the sultan or the ruler selecting members for the administrators. Okay, so like that is going on. So rather than appointing aristocrats and landed chieftains as a governors, what the Sultan did, the Sultan, the early Delhi Sultan, especially Iltutmish, favored the special slaves purchased for military service. They purchased special slaves from the for military service that is called Bandagan in Persian. Okay, they were carefully trained to man some of the most important political offices in the kingdom. So the Sultan purchased these slaves as a governors. So before appointing the governors or administration, what the Sultan giving training, and at last the Sultan appointed. And here they were carefully trained to man some of the most important political offices in the kingdom. Since they were totally dependent upon their master, the Sultan could trust and rely upon them. What is the speciality here? The speciality is that these slaves always obey their master. They always show the loyalty to their master. So that is a speciality here. So Sultan can trust them and the Sultan can appoint them. They will not do any kinds of wrong things because they are slaves. Because of that, they are always faithful to Sultan. Okay, that is why Sultan did. But these aristocrats, noble aristocrats, maybe they can do all kinds of illegal activities. Maybe they are not supporting the Sultan. All these kinds of problems are there. That is why Sultan purchased slaves and gave trainings and appointed as a governors. These slaves will not disobey the leader, always faithful to the Sultan. Okay, the Khaljis and Tughlaqs continued this Bandagan and also raised people of humble birth, with were often their clients, to high political positions. They were appointed as generals and governors. However, this is also introduced a element of political instability. So Sultan started to appoint like this, and what happened? Because the early governors, they are coming from the nobles family. So from these nobles and new appointed slaves as a governors, between them problems started. So it shows it started to political instability. Okay, slaves and clients were loyal to their masters and patrons, but not their heirs. Okay, so in at a time the Sultan appointed these slaves, and when the Sultan is changing or their masters changing, that time they are not obeying other masters. That also one problem. Okay, the one Sultan, maybe if we take a Sultan Iltutmish appointed some of the officers as these slaves as officers. When the Sultan Iltutmish after the reign of the Sultan, maybe next Sultan can become. At that time, these clients or these people are not obeying properly the next ruler. So that what they are doing, the other slaves selected as officers. So these old clients and the new selected clients, between them problems also started. Okay. New Sultan had their own servants. As a result, the accession of a new monarch often saw conflict between the old and the new nobility. Okay, the patronage of these humble people by the Delhi Sultan also shocked many elites, and the authors of Persian Tawari criticized the Delhi Sultans for appointing the low and baseborn the high officers like their sultans. Okay. The Ghaljis and Tughlaqs monarchs appointed the military commanders as governors of territories of varying size. These lands were called Ikta, and their holder was called Iktadar or Mukti. The duty of the Muktis was to lead military campaigns and maintain the law and order in their Iktas. In exchange for their military service, the Muktis collected the revenue of their assignments as a salary. They also paid their soldiers for the revenues. Okay, these revenues. They also paid their soldiers from these revenues. Control over Muktis was most effective if the office was not inheritable and if they were assigned Iktas for a short period of time before being shifted. Okay, so what happened? Like the earlier sultanates, the Ghalji and Tughlaq monarch appointed military commanders as governors of territories of varying size. Okay, the Tughlaq and Ghalji sultans dynasties monarchs appointed military commanders as governors of territories of varying size, and these lands were called Iktas. Okay, these military commanders' lands were known as Ikta, and their landholder, these military commanders, is known as Iktadar or Mukti. The duty of the Muktis was, what is the duties of Muktis? Was the lead military campaigns and maintain law and order in their Iktas. Okay, the duty of the Muktis was the lead military campaigns and maintain law and order in their Iktas. In exchanging for their military services, the Muktis collected the revenue for the assignments as a salary. They also paid their soldiers from these revenues. Okay, so these accounts were appointed by the states to check the amount of revenue collected by the Muktis. The care was taken by the Muktis collected only the taxes prescribed by the state, and that they kept the required numbers of soldiers. Okay, so that is about the Mukti and Ikta and Mukti. Ikta means the governors, so Sultan, Ghalji and Tughlaq sultans appointed military officers as governors, governors, and so what is happening? These governors were known as Iktadar. Okay, military governors were known as Ikta. Okay, then their land is known as Mukti. Okay, their land is known as Mukti, and their duties that to military campaigns to do and maintain the law and order in their land. Okay, and collect the revenue. That revenue they can use for the maintaining militaries. Okay, maintenance of militaries. They can give the salary of the military officers, and like that they can do. Okay, so thank you.